Hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Maria Jose Roman Estebanes, and we're going to talk about 2002 recent events here in your daily news. Bigfoot. 2002 new headlines. The deaths of Princess Margaret and the Queen's mother in quick succession sadness the nation, while the celebration of the Queen's Golden Jubilee went ahead with the party in place, taking place at the Buchanan Place later in the year. The turbulence experienced by the royal family was not the only major 2002 event documented by the newspaper publications at the time. The 2002 Winter Olympics took place in Salt Lake City, while Germany lost in Brazil in the final FIFA World Cup. For anyone looking to broaden their knowledge in these years, reading 2002 newspaper articles is the best way to immerse yourself in the world at the time of the publication. Now our classmate Jose Maria Lobo is going to talk about sports.
The 2002 FIFA World Cup South Korea-Japan was the 17th edition of the Soccer World Cup and was held in South Korea and Japan between May 31 and June 13 in 2002. This tournament was the first organized in history by two countries, the first to be held outside Europe and America, the first World Cup to be held in 21 centuries, the first in third millennium, and the first to be held in Asia. The tournament, in which 32 teams participated, had strong contrast. Some teams found second and third order in international football achieved excellent results, such as the semifinals, Turkey and South Korea, while the debutant Senegal team was among the top 8. On the contrary, some of the favorite teams were eliminated in the first phase, such as Argentina and France, in the worst tournament of the current champion by obtaining a single point, not scoring any goal. Italy, anyway, was controversially eliminated into round of 26. Despite this, the cup finally was contested by two of the many powers in football history, Brazil and Germany. In Yokohama, Brazil won its 5th World Cup and expanded its record as the team with the most titles in the history of the tournament. In the third place match against South Korea, Turkey won 3-2, ranking third in their second FIFA World Cup and scoring the fastest goal in FIFA World Cup history. The 2002 World Cup was also the last to use the golden goal rule.
Now our classmate Frida Plasencia is going to talk about politics.
In 12 of September in 2022, United States President George W. Bush addresses the United Nations and challenges its members to confront the grave and gathering danger of Iraq, or stand aside as the United States and Like-Minded Nations Act. President George W. Bush addresses the United Nations to ask for the international community's help in combating terrorism around the world. He also pledged to take the fight against terrorism to any place where terrorists were harbored. In his speech, Bush called the war on terror a case of light overcoming darkness, and warned the civilization itself was being threatened by those who used terror to achieve their political aims. In the poignant moment, Bush pointed out that only a few miles from United Nations headquarters in New York City, many thousands still lie in a tomb of rubble, referring to the site where the World Trade Center towers formerly stood. Bush cited the United States-led military action in Afghanistan against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban regime that had sponsored them began a month earlier as proof the United States was fully prepared to attack other nations that harbored or financed terrorist groups. Bush went on the promise the United States could stand by its commitment to peace in the Middle East by working toward a day when two states, Israel and Palestine, live peaceful together within secure and recognized borders as called for by the United Nations.
Now I'm going to talk about entertainment. The two dead girls discovered in the woodland 10 miles from their homes in Soho were formally identified yesterday as Holly Wells and Jessica Champagne. The children's parents were told of the development, which follows for scientific analysis. They had already been told by Cambridge police that the victims found near Raft Lake Haven were almost certainly the missing 10-year-olds. Officers said that yesterday the several days had been needed to identify the girls because they were decomposed but declined to give further details. Forensic scientists will have used DNA samples or possible dental records in the identification process. They were found next to a country path at Lakehead, Suffolk on Saturday about son of gamekeeper, 13 days after the friends went missing. Post-mortem tests earlier in the weekend failed to determine the cause of death. Of the further examinations are being made. A police spokesman said following the further examination, the bodies have been now possibly identified as Holly and Wells and Jessica Champagne. The area continues to remain cordoned from the public access. A team of 15 scene of crime officers was searching for evidence yesterday at the Lakehead site at the primary second schools where Ian Huntley, 28, the main charge with the girl's murder, worked and lived with his girlfriend Mary Carr, 25, who appeared in country charged with attempting to prevent the course of justice. The searches are expected to continue for several days. The spokesman said officers were rechecking ground on property in case of any evidence has been missed. The initial search of the bungalow belonging to Mr. Hunter's father, Kevin, was concluded yesterday. A team of officers spent 3 days in the house in Littleport, Cambridgeshire, starting with the search of the garden, then inside the house, and finally in the edges bordering it, for which they used metal detectors. Some 50 items of potential evidence have been taken away for analysis. Report, Cambridgeshire, starting with the search of the garden, then inside the house, and finally in the edges bordering it, for which they used metal detectors. Some 50 items of potential evidence have been taken away for analysis, and the house will remain cordoned off and empty until the analysis has been concluded, which will take weeks. Thanks for watching and see you later in your daily news, Bigfoot.